So Konami at the Tokyo Game Show during the production Hotline 3 has just showcased some more gameplay. And it's fair to say that Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta appears to still have no announcement date. Well, at least we don't know as of yet, because we believe that the date we could have seen in the video might have been a merch release. This new footage gives us a better look at the menu features and gameplay. I've taken several notes on what I've managed to catch, so why not just get right into it. First up, we get a look at the demo menu, and keep in mind this build is specifically for the game show, but it gives us a good idea of what to expect. The menu allows us to choose between New Style and Legacy Mode. I'm not going to explain what it is, because chances are you probably already know by now. Secondly, we get a further look into the game's menu, and it's got some nice new features of its own, just like the original screen did back in the day, where you could mess with the colours and the speed of Snake's CQC. In this one you can play around with the weather, and of course change the filters. Pretty neat. Right at the start of the menu we can pick our desired language and, by the looks of it, select the difficulty. I notice an easy and normal modes were available, perhaps harder and extreme will be unlocked after a playthrough. As for the movement, it seems fine, though I'm not sure if it was running in Legacy mode. It does feel a lot more streamlined, but I argue that it seems a bit too sensitive when moving. Chances are the level of force on the stick will play a role in determining that, just like MGS5. Visually the game looks solid, no surprise there. They've even included a roll feature, but in my opinion it feels a bit over the top. I can see its value in extreme situations where you need to dive out of danger, but for simple movements it just seems a bit unnecessary. Even the very camera angles that follow us when we go underneath ledges or underneath certain trees or branches are still here. The tree climbing function is improved compared to before, but it still feels a bit lazy. Snake doesn't actually grab onto the vines, instead he climbs up it like it's a ladder. It's a poor animation in my opinion, but nothing game breaking or worth dwelling on too much. And when Snake grabs his backpack, it seamlessly transitions into a smooth cutscene when he drops down below. That leads directly into a codec call.
Snake.
無線画面なんですけども、ページ送り機能を追加しました。オリジナルから
One great feature they've added, which I wish was in the original, is the ability to pause the game during cutscenes. You know those moments when you need to run to the toilet or grab a drink? Well, now in the remake you can actually pause it mid-cutscene. Pretty epic, right? Up next is the shooting mechanics with modernized controls. It's fairly decent, but the movement still feels stiff and rigid. I'm not sure if that's a design choice to add difficulty to the game and balance. After all, MGS5 had very smooth controls, which might not fit the vibe of MGS3. Still, it seems acceptable enough. The animations for shooting are cool, and we can even see animals go inside the capture cages once we've tranquilized them. It's pretty neat. One has to admit that the over-the-shoulder perspective feels a little bit off, but that's something we can adjust to. I love how Capcom nailed that function in their games. However, I'm still not a fan of the floaty movement when Snake is moving when he's equipping a gun. I mean, don't get me wrong, it doesn't look too bad. And really coming to think of it now, it might not even be the movement, it might just be the animation that's throwing off the movement and making it look unusual. The cool thing is that we can move whilst aiming, so there are some upsides to the control. The jungle details are also spot on too, with the shadows. However, it's worth noting that in the item menu, Konami has added a new compass feature. And honestly, I find this a bit pointless, especially considering that MGS3 is very linear with a straightforward path. You don't exactly backtrack at all. I just find that element completely unnecessary, but then again, that's just my opinion. Now we enter the swamps and it looks fantastic. The mechanics of Snake slowly sinking into the mud feels just right. I mean, the original was great as well, but this just feels more realistic. With everything in place, including the hornets and those vicious Indian gavels.
はい、臨場感かなり増しています。
2から7ってすごいですね。
はい。はい、ですね、ガーコ。
Konami has added the Gakko plushies, and I think there are 3 in total to collect based on the picture that they've shown us. I imagine collecting them will unlock something special, And I believe the Karoten targets will still be back as well, and if I remember correctly, you shoot 64 of them. Your end of game ranking will be Karoten, and the stealth camouflage will be available when you load the completed save game for new games if you haven't already unlocked it. The roll feature, whilst over the top, seems useful in places like this, and I really like that the environment feels more alive than ever. If anything, everything feels more tangible and just more alive. Next, we're introduced to the survival viewer again, and nothing new here, but it's cool to see the environment stick to Snake's outfit, and the option to switch outfits in the menus caters to the old school fans, and changing costumes removes the mud. While that's cool, I wish they'd have added a feature where the mud comes off when you're in water. It would be a nice touch, especially since in MGS5 if you were covered in blood, the rain and water would wash it off your outfit. Next, Konami showcases the ability to change outfits on the go. We see it in action when you change your outfit in the quick HUD screen, where a Fox logo pops up as the outfit transitions. Even I have to admit that that's a neat little function. Well, it may have its downsides, Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake, it also brings a lot to the table, especially with how Snake is just holding his gun and knife. It's got the characteristics down to a T with the animations. The codec function appears to be much better as well, allowing you to see your surroundings before making a call. It features a neat interface, and I believe it's prompted with the directional buttons. The survival viewer looks exactly as the same as before, but it feels like someone has just polished it up. Next, we see the food menu showcasing our captured animals as well as the tasty snacks we find along the way in the jungle. Everything is on point. But wow, this calorie management system with Konami and this whole marketing scheme is just, I don't know, it's annoying. The backpack feature is still in its element, and it's nice to see that the items fully are textured and modelled to be more visually appealing. And we can even see the CQC notices right next to the item to show you if they're CQC compatible. The throwing function looks just like it does in MGS4 and more akin to MGS5, which I'm glad to see. The throwing mechanics in MGS5s were the best in the series. I mean, it seems like they're using that system here as well. There are a few neat functions in this remake, and I'm not sure what to make of the movement at times. However, looking at Snake running without the gun feels completely normal. It's probably just the animation with the gun as he runs, and I can feel like we can all adjust to this after some time. And even using the left stick to take cover seems to be back from MGS5. So that was everything Konami showcased, and naturally everyone was wondering when on earth was the release date going to be. And shockingly, I don't believe it was even mentioned. A date appeared on the screen, but it seemed to be for Konami's Metal Gear Solid merchandise going on sale on October the 25th. Maybe a subtle hint to the release date, or just another typical Konami scheme to make some quick money. Nothing else particularly interesting happened from here, aside from beautiful Japanese girls showcasing the merch. It's disappointing news, especially since everyone is eagerly awaiting for the release date. It's like the #1 thing. And for you Master Collection players, Konami has confirmed they've added a new patch for the games, adjusting the picture quality. However, looking at the difference, it's hardly even noticeable, and it was a disaster at launch. I think I'm just going to stick with the emulator and the HD collection. But anyway guys, with that being said, I'm tired, I'm going to bed. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and like the video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm the Voice Box, and I'll see you later.